Okay, good afternoon, gents. Hope all is well. How you doing, Wood? How you doing? Okay, so let me just shut my blinds. It's really bright here. Just been hit by a quick wall of sunshine. So I hope everyone's all right. How you getting on, Wood? All right? You're on one contract, bud, aren't you? How are you getting on? It's definitely making a difference for me. I've stopped thinking about the money actually a little bit and more about the trades, which I think is good. It stands to reason, doesn't it? It's common sense. You lower the risk, you lower the stress. It just makes sense, doesn't it? So let's see how we get on today. Okay, so leg. What's going on here? I think we're probably coming down here actually. Can everybody hear me all right, can they? Oh, good. Yeah, excellent. Okay, good, thanks. Tough day yesterday even. Yeah, he did. I noticed much less stress. Any case we are in for this. Absolutely, mate. Yeah. Hey, Kev, how you doing? Yeah, I noticed. I was watching some of the. I like to catch up what everyone's done. And it was a pretty nasty day yesterday. But yeah, Mac did say when it's like that, you just maybe take a day off or something like that. But hey, Clay, how you doing? But I managed to resist the temptation yesterday, and for me, there just wasn't a lot around. There may have been one I'd have taken. But that happened a little bit before I started trading. But I know everyone else got beaten up, didn't they? I know who else? Moo guy. That's a shame, actually, because he just started 2 new PA accounts. And he lost $1,000 in each, a fraction over, which is a shame, really. I did message him, wished him all the best. And I suggested to him, actually, about dropping down because it's made a difference for me. I know Panda, I always keep an eye out what he's doing. Just out of interest, really. He's just got a bit of a strange trading method, but he got absolutely battered as well. I think everyone did a bit. So I think I did the right thing with staying out of it yesterday. At the end of the day, I'm pretty good at the patience is working okay at the moment for me. So, and you needed it yesterday, but yeah, as Max said, but he did mention again. That's the couple of times I've heard him mention about retiring soon. I wonder how long it'll be. He did say it wasn't going to be next year, but he was. I can't see it being much after that. Maybe a couple of years. And I suppose in one sense, if you are following Mac's system, I'm kind of glad we're in where we're in now because I don't think you're going to find any type of system like Mac's as effective as Mac's for such a cheap price as well. So I suppose we're lucky in a sense that we've got in daily. Not many people, successful traders that have clearly made a great living out of this will sort of invest their time into teaching people. Most people, at the end of the day, if they're making a ton of money, why? They're off enjoying their life. But Mac does put a lot of time and effort into his sort of his videos at the end of the day and so on. So I think we're a bit lucky in a way that we've got him. So I've been studying his system 2.5 years. So if he gives us another couple of years, 4 years of Mac should be 4.5 years of Mac should be plenty to get you on your way. Laufey, how you doing, my friend? But it was one of those days. He didn't mark a lot, really, did he? But yeah, it was one of those days. We don't often get a day like that, really, do we? Not much. I don't know what happened later in the day. Did it improve? We get a push up and chop. I don't know. Was there anything? Probably not a huge amount. You may have taken that one. Depends. We sort of got a leg up. We have 2 legs. I kind of like that. Actually, I would have taken that 100%. So for me, we got 1 leg. 2 legs, which takes us to there. No, tell a lie. What I'm thinking of is where am I looking? The higher low. There's a higher low I just saw here somewhere. Oh, that one there. Okay, yeah. So we got a leg up. We got 2 legs of correction. Bullish bar started going up. That higher low I would have 100% taken. Okay, so market is about to open in about 10 seconds. So, hey mate, we retested and broke the high of the day yesterday. Got you. Drexel, are you a new face? You'll see the spike late yesterday afternoon. What was that? Not me. Are you on about here, are you? Sometimes at the end of the day you get a bit of a rally. Are you on about that or something else? Hamza, hey, Lance, hey, traders. How you doing, bud? And his new alpha. Okay. I got you. I bet. Seems was earning. Drexel, are you a new face? I think you are. Welcome. Where you from, bud? Okay, so we got a leg down and we got a leg down. I thought we may come down to here, so it's been quite predictable this morning. We've had a leg down, a leg down, a leg up, and a smaller case on a smaller level as well. Leg down. So so far we seem to be going. So are you from Texas? Okay, that sounds warmer than the UK right about now. Pretty miserable over here. We got 9 degrees centigrade and misery, pure misery. But that's the UK. There we go. In fact, some people like that. I suppose if you live in a country that's hot all the time, although it sounds nice, it could probably be a bit tedious. I did live in a warmish country when I was a youngster. My stepfather was in the army and we spent 2 years in Cyprus. And yeah, when you've got it all the time, it can be a bit much. Mind you, I suppose you guys in the US tend to have air conditioning. We don't in the UK. We just don't get prolonged enough, hot weather. Oh, I like that. That is nice. Okay, market is open. It's been open a minute and a half. Let's have a look. Okay, so it looks like we're retesting this low. So push down. Looks like a 2-tiered channel, that. So we're getting towards these lows. So, I take it everybody knows we got 90% off. I did an email early hours of the morning. 90% off. I was surprised actually that they'd waited so long. So 90% off until the 7th of November. So that's pretty good. 71% just wasn't working. Not enough people are using it. So I figured they had to do something. So yeah, so we got that for a while. So my code's down there as usual. If you use it, it's appreciated. Okay, so we got this leg down. It looks like a measured leg, that. So we opened here. It came down there. 2 legs of correction. In fact, I didn't notice that. We got a leg down. 2 legs of correction. I expect another leg down. Trouble is, I could deal with a break here. A couple of legs up. It's probably going to stall a bit. I wouldn't be surprised if we have a break here, because we are coming down to the overnight lows, and it's going sideways a bit. So I'm expecting a break here. And if we can get a nice second entry short up here somewhere, then I may be interested in that, because we've got yesterday's lows and we've got this measured leg down here. So I would expect to at least break the low. So if we can make a couple of legs up, go on, up you get. Let's have a look. If that just ends up bearish, I'm not touching it. Although it probably may just come down, but we've got to have a break for me. It's overnight lows is going to cause a little bit of a static, and we're getting it there, a little bit of sideways. So I'm hoping we get a break. Go on, up you get. Push, push, push. Everybody think up. Okay, there's the break. So, okay, so I'm just going to
Order
get
submitted.
a trade ready just in case. I'm not going to take that. Anything that interests me, it's got to be a decent enough space from there. I expect to break the lows of the day, but it may just do that. It could also be ranging sideways, so it may just nick that. But I think it'll come lower. Certainly, I think it'll come to yesterday's lows, but we've got this measured move, and I really like that. We've got a leg down, a really nice two-legged correction, and a leg again. So come on, babes, give us something. Come on. A nice early trade, that'll be good. No news today. Well, nothing that's going to affect us. It's about, 9:35 tonight. We'll be done and dusted hours before then, so nothing that's going to affect us. Okay, let's see what's going on here. A small micro trend there. Nothing for us there unless it pushes up a bit more first. I don't think it will. I think it's just going to drop. Yeah. Yeah. As I suspected. Yeah, it's a shame, really. There's nothing there. There's a small micro and then it just drops, which is frustrating because we know where it's going, don't we? Certainly to here at least. There's my first target, but I also think it's likely. I just wonder whether it may turn into a spike and channel here.
Order cancelled.
What I'd like to do, because we have got some distance we could move, and there's no reason why we can't get there once we get through there. That is fitting nice, but if it's going to continue down, let's have a little look. Okay, so there could be a spike in a channel. I kind of like it. I don't mind it. I'm just going to be a little bit careful though, because it could bounce. Okay, we're coming up to yesterday's lows. Now we've just plugged straight through that. It's a real shame there wasn't an entry there, because we could have got a nice move there. Okay, so we closed a few times below this, so this to me now is a little bit more relevant now. Sideways. Sideways is better than up or down. Okay, so if we can get a little bit of a break out the top here, I may go short there, because I do think it's quite likely to get that measured leg. The thing is, sometimes these legs play out perfectly time and time again during a session, and then other days they just don't, and you never quite know when it's going to happen. So what I am aware is if we've made a new low of the day, so we could come back and retest this area. It's possible, so I don't want to get caught short, but I also think we're likely to get this measured leg. Unfortunately, there's just no setup. There is a bearish bar there, but it could just trigger down, push up, stop that out. Yeah, it's gone too far now. I was hoping we'd go sideways and just pop out the top a bit there, and I was going to trade it as a fell break out of this. Lloyd Rodriguez, how you doing? You're a new face. Welcome. How you doing? Where you from? We've had a couple of new faces this morning. Excellent. Okay, let's see if that's going to get stopped out. I'm guessing it's probably going to. Yeah. That's why I didn't take that. It's just in the middle of nowhere, really. It's not a strong position to go lower. Now, caution. it could push back up. See, if this is a range day, which is quite likely it is, we've got a leg down and a leg down. We haven't hit that measured leg yet, but we've made a new low, and we've closed out yesterday's lows. So depends how you had that. I initially had that slightly different, in which case we had a break, but I adjusted it as a spike and channel, and it kind of fits okay, and it looks visually okay. So you just got to be a bit careful going short here, just in case that break does stand. I'm just going to get rid of that for a minute. Okay, so possible second entry short. Okay, there is a second entry short there, but as far as I'm concerned, it's just too risky. It may work, it may not, but it's also right in the middle of that lot. So way too risky in my opinion. Are you for the UK? How you doing? Whereabouts? Shropshire I am. Shropshire, that's not a typical UK name. Shropshire I am. Shropshire, sorry. Okay, so excuse me, there is a second entry short, but it's a little bit weak for me. As I say, I did move. I originally had that and all that fitted down there lovely. So we've had a break in a new low. In fact, I think I'm going to leave that there because, in all honesty, I think it's safer to assume we've had a break in a new low. It doesn't mean it can't come down any lower. It just means you just got to be a little bit aware. It is a second entry short. It looks like it's made a couple of points anyway, but I'm just not a fan. You're going short right at that midline, and it just could tick. It could go up, and it could make a nice measured leg up to it, and then down it comes. Or see, that's the trouble, right? We touched there, and it's working beautifully in there, and we've had a break and a few legs down to a new low. So just assuming that's going to come down for me is a bit risky. One, it's sideways. Two, it could trap you and go long after this break in a new low, because we've made a new low. We've pushed through yesterday's lows. But some days these measured legs play out beautifully. Others, they just don't. And it's hard to put your finger on exactly why. But that's... I wouldn't be shocked if that goes right to the nearest tick. Where is that exactly? Is that at the... There we go. Okay, that's a tick off it. I have it as a spike and channel. It was a perfect second shot. The trouble is, from my point of view, what I will say at the moment is it's fitting beautifully along that line. So that's how I had mine initially, and it had a break and a new low. The trouble is, and I absolutely agree, sometimes you do adjust it. But if you get it wrong and it ticks you and then pushes up, so I always like to assume, let's leave it where it is. Sometimes moving it, if it continued on down and down and down, I would move it. But I'm always cautious of that when we've made a new low for the day and that measured leg is close. So I just think sometimes if you assume the worst, you're going to get stung less. That's just something that's just I feel over my time of trading. And it tends to stand me in better stead because there are times before where I've moved that, we have a break and a new low, and I take a short, it triggers me and pushes up. And the answer to the question, why didn't it work, is because we'd already had a break and a new low. So I'm always cautious about that. But once it does continue on down, I mean, it's probably likely. In fact, that actually fits better than anything. So that is possible. It could continue on down that. But that measured leg has played out, so I actually really like that channel. Visually, the angle of it just fits nice, especially if you're going to open it up. Okay, so it has come down a bit. I had a feeling it would. It looks really nice. So, here's what I think. Let's have a look. What does that look like? That is a possibility. It's a possibility. And the reason I'm putting that there is because I noticed a couple of bars finish there. So it touches perfect, touches perfect, touches perfect. If it continues down, I'll bin that, but it's just a possibility. So we got a leg down. So are we going to get a bearish day today? It's quite likely. It's possible. I would expect to break soon though. It's actually fitting really nice there. I did consider that there. Trouble is, you're going into the no man's land, aren't you? So you don't know whether it's just going to tick down here, make a double bottom, and then bounce. So I need a little bit of distance. That now doesn't look too bad. But the trouble is, until we continue down there and make that one and then tick there, you don't necessarily know to move that. We moved it to here, I think, didn't we? But it is frustrating when it just drops like that. What have we come down here? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35 points. The trouble is, if you've got no entry, there's nothing you can really do. And you never know when it's going to break. So just taking these ones blindly, although it looks nice, you just never know. Okay, I expect a break now. Actually, no, I don't. No, I don't. Actually, yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. And the reason I'm saying that is we're fitting nice in this top tier, and that is a little bit of an overshoot of the top tier, so I wonder if that makes a difference. We shall see. So we got a little leg up there. Okay, break. Break, I believe. Excuse me. Okay, here comes a break. Leg, leg. we go. Come on. Leg.
Order submitted.
Up here. Okay, touch, 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 touch. 4 touches there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 touches there. With a small break. Not as much as I was expecting. I was expecting to come up here a bit higher there. But a break nonetheless.
Order cancelled.
Leg. We've made a new low there. We've had a breakout here and made a new low. So let's see. It is very bearish though, but I would like to see 2 really nice corrections now. A nice 2-legged correction, maybe there or there. Okay, it's actually bouncing on that yesterday's low, isn't it? Near enough. Okay, there's clearly some support resistance there. I'm just going to leave that there just in case we get a push up. Okay, there's a lower high there. Trouble is, there's just no room to the bottoms really. We've had this small break. We've actually made a new low there, so it just makes it a bit more risky. I would say that if it finishes bearish, he's probably going to push down, but I don't know how long for because we got the lows down here. We've had a small break and a new low, so it's just a bit risky. But I'd say it's going to, it's at least going to get down to here. I'd say. But a bit too risky for me because it could be, I don't know, I'm not a massive fan of that in all fairness. Not a lot of room to the lows really. You've got a point at a squeeze. It's not even worth risking for me for a point, to be fair. It went down 1.25 points. It may continue down, but I don't know here. I'd like a bigger correction. That for me is a little break and a little. I'd like something bigger before I think about going short. So watch out that stop if you're in that trade, thinking we're going to go down any lower. Not for me. Not for me. I'd say that stop there is going to get taken out, and possibly that as well. Certainly that one, I would say. To me, it's, I don't know. We need a bigger correction after that big push down for me, really, to think about going short yet. I think that's going to take that stop out for sure, and possibly even here. So I just don't like the way we've had 2 touches there. There goes that stop. We've had 2 touches there and 3 touches there. We need a bigger correction for me to think about going short. I'm not saying it's not going to, but I just think it's a bit risky. One, it's sideways to shit anyway, so it doesn't mean it won't. It just means it's just more risky. We need a bigger correction, really. That's quite a shallow sort of channel down. It's shallow. It's quite tight. So I'd want a bigger correction, really, before I thought about going short. I mean, anything can happen. But yeah, so if you took that one, thinking a little break, there goes that stop. So that went down about, I think you'd have squeezed a point off that, but it's just, there's just no room to get down there comfortably, in all fairness. You'd have squeezed a point out of it. Thanks for the comment. I was curious to your real-time thoughts compared to mine. That's part of the reason why these streams are good, because 2 heads are better than 1. It's always useful to get someone else's his thoughts on it, because it for me it's better. And that's why I like this. Sometimes I'll ask you guys, what do you think of this? Anybody in that? Anyone in this? Blah, blah, blah. But for me, after that big push down like that, we've got to have a bigger correction, really, before I think about going short. There is always the possibility of a bigger channel. Let's have a look. It's not out of the question. But I tend to avoid these a little bit, unless once it comes up to here. See, sometimes we've had a leg up and we're looking for another leg, and I've taken a trade in the past there, and it's triggered me and stopped me out, long. So it's always useful to know where they are, just in case there is a bigger leg there, because sometimes when there's quite a lot of price action, and sometimes, you're sort of zoomed in and you forget what's going on there, and we get a nice channel up there and we have a break and you're thinking about going long, and then sometimes it triggers you and comes down, and then when you zoom out, we've got something bigger. So it's always nice to just put that there just in case, because it could work. I don't know, I haven't got a clue whether it will or not, but it's just nice to know that there is a possible level there which may turn. So just going along around this area, So, what is going on here? We're going to continue down? I've got no clue. Can I just ask you guys to just hit that like button if it's okay? I'm just going to try. I'm trying to grow the channel a little bit. I've never usually bothered up until now, but apparently it makes a difference. I don't know about the tech side of it, but apparently the algorithm that advertise the videos makes a difference. I don't know, but I feel cheeky asking, but oh well. Lovely. Thank you. Excellent. Thank you, Clay. I've never really bothered, but someone said to me the other day, why don't you ever mention about likes? And I'm thinking, well, why? He said, well, it gets out to more people watch your videos, and because you get they don't make a lot, but I make about $50 a month from YouTube. But he went, if you get, double your videos, you double, it all helps, doesn't it? But so I've never really, I don't quite understand all the YouTube stuff, to be fair. I'm not the most techie person. I can get by, but apparently more likes, YouTube advertises to more people. I don't quite know, but there we go. So they tell me. Okay, so this is retesting the bottom. So is it going to go down? Not a clue. Highland, staying up late tonight to trade all the new evals. We got your code. Thank you, mate. I appreciate that, bud. What's the weather like where you are? I bet it's warmer than where I am at the moment. Mind you, it's late evening for you. What is it, about 11 o'clock, somewhere around there? What are you, 9 hours ahead? I think you're 9, aren't you? So 3, 2, 1. Is it midnight? Oh, you really? You are Australian, aren't you? Not New Zealand? Oh, it is 1 a.m. Okay, got you. You are Australian, not New Zealand, aren't you? Because there is someone else that's from New Zealand. I'm pretty sure you're Oz, aren't you? I know my niece was out there for about 2 years. Around lockdown, actually, she was supposed to come back. She was only supposed to be out there a year, but obviously it was during lockdown, so all flights stopped. So she spent, but Melbourne is right on the sea. Yeah, someone said to me once, Melbourne, you can have all 4 seasons in one day in Melbourne. Is that right? I've heard that somewhere. But Australia's on my list. I want to go to the MCG in Melbourne, the SCG, some of the cricket grounds. I'm a cricket fan, as you know. But I want to go out there. During lockdown, I had to stay. In fact, really, yeah, it was a bit of a strange time, that, wasn't it? But I think what I've noticed, because I've got a 15-year-old daughter, I think the kids have really suffered as well with their education, because, God, was it like 6-7 months total, I think? And then it amazed me, they came back to school for 2 weeks and had a six-week summer holiday, so... but I know it's affected my daughter a bit. We had to get her some, just top up on her education a bit, because obviously she's starting to do her exams slowly. But I think we had worse lockdowns than anywhere else. You were quite strict over there, weren't you? Yeah. But obviously that makes a difference how many people were getting it. I know in the UK, well, I think in the UK we had about 1,800 deaths per day at one point at the worst of it. But I know places like the US, obviously, they had it bad. Bigger country, more people. It's that. Enjoy it got spent. Yeah, I actually I liked it as well, actually, because we were given 80% of our wages here by the government. So I just did the garden. I built a pergola and a load of decking and all that. Mind you, it took me 2 weeks to get hold of that, because every bloody man and his dog was doing their garden up. So, but I quite enjoyed it. I mean, my wife was necking bottles of wine every day. It was great, because it was springtime, wasn't it? I think it was about March. Was it March the 23rd? The first time it hit here. But obviously we started. But we bought one of those, those above ground pools, those 12-foot round Intex above ground pool. So we had a great summer, we did. Got pissed every day, swam in the pool. It was great. And then it's horrible then when you got to go back to work. Oh, did you really? See, for me, I think it was just after that. When was it? I got into Pat's 2.5 years ago. 2.5 years. It was 2 years in June. But yeah. See, I mean, really, from a trader's point of view, lockdown, it wouldn't affect you, would it? It's probably one of the best and safest jobs to be doing around lockdown. You know, I'm assuming markets. It was after I got into it. I'm assuming markets were tanking, were they anyway? And obviously you're indoors, aren't you? So you're pretty safe. I'm a year ahead of you. Oh, yeah, I got you. Yeah, I started 3 years ago. Just traded in general. 3 years at the end of November. And I did 6 months of currency trading with a guy called Andrew Lockwood, and then just got sick of looking dozens of screens and charts all day everywhere. I'm still working from home. COVID was good to me. Yeah, some people it worked out for, didn't it? I got to say, I do love working from home. Nothing worse than going out. Well, I don't know from Australia point of view, but winters can be pretty choppy, and there's nothing worse going out in the pitch black at -8 in the morning and coming back in the dark as well. This was closed for a total of 1 day. What's that? NYSE. Oh, New York Stock Exchange. Oh, was it really? Of course, I didn't think of that. You just tend to think everyone works from home, but yeah. I'm assuming markets were just dropping, were they? I'm assuming markets were dropping. Obviously, you know, pretty bad news, a bit concerning. Trouble is, we never knew how bad it could potentially have got. I mean, it could have been a lot more deadly, really, couldn't it? It was just sort of mainly sort of older people and people with, you know, sort of underlying health conditions. Apart from that, you were generally okay, but it's a shame, really. It's the sort of, you know, the sick people and the older people. It must have been absolutely terrifying if you had some sort of underlying health condition or you were really sort of quite old age. It must have been pretty scary. It dropped for a few weeks and then shot up. Did it really? Hell. Oh, I got you. Yeah, I got you. Chuck loads of money into the economy. Yeah. What is going on here? Any ideas? What is going on? But yeah, it was certainly a safe. Is this a bigger channel? I think it may be. Let's just kill that. Highlight this. We might just get a nice bearish day today, or at least partly. So we touched here. Ooh, it's hard to say, but we've had this leg down. Had a couple of legs of correction, so it's possible we could go down. But yeah, if you've got kids and stuff, it's nice because the trouble is, I know when my daughter went back to school, she suffered with anxiety really bad. Because the trouble is, you wean your kids off you, don't you, over time. You know, they start nursery when they're young and all that. And all of a sudden, when they're at home for like 6 months, they sort of reattach to you, don't they? So I know my daughter went through a difficult time of panicking like shit when she was going to school. You know, anxiety and stuff like that. I'll tell you what, I'm just going to drag the 10,000 tick chart in here. That's where we opened there. Let's just get that accurate. That's where we opened. We've touched there. I think that might be one big channel. So that's something to possibly think about. It was tough. It was definitely tough for the kids. It didn't worry me in a sense that I was a bit scared about what might happen because fortunately we're all pretty healthy now. And I got no sort of real elderly relatives, so it wasn't so scary. But for some people, it must have been terrifying. There's still the possibility of a bigger channel there. The trouble is, if you have got a bigger channel, then you've got to be careful going short because we could start pushing into this area. So if you have that channel, we've had a break and we've comfortably made a new low. I mean, it's pretty bearish. Trouble is, when you see this, you start thinking to yourself, it can't go down forever. And then you sort of end up being a bit cautious, taking a short. And then an hour later, we're down here somewhere. But this to me looks like it may be bottoming, so I expect a break here. Time I lost to bed, you made 2 points. 2 points is good, mate. That's my ideal target for the day. If I can hit 2 points a day, I'm chuffed to bits with that. That'll make me a ton of money over time with multiple accounts. So yeah, you take it easy, pal. Go and get your beauty sleep. Okay, so we got a break. I expected that. That's if we have got this channel. Good luck. Thank you, mate. So we got this. We've had a break in a new low. So are we bouncing up? It's hard to say. Just got to keep that in mind as a possible target. Okay, let's have a look. Going on here. Alfie, how you doing? I noticed that Marco doesn't draw. You on about this one here? Yeah, sometimes he'll draw at the end of the day, depends. All I'm doing is putting that line there, because if we start to work up in a channel here, I've done that before. If you start to work up here, let's say in a channel, something like that, and we get to the top and we make 2 legs back here, thinking about going long. I've done that before, got into a trade, it's triggered me, gone up half a point and started coming down, and then when I zoom out, I realise there's a bigger channel. So it's always good to be aware of that. But yeah, I agree, drawing it, it's a bit too early, but it is good to be aware of that there is a possibility. And I think the fact that we've got this bit of congestion here as well, so it's just useful to be aware of that area, I think. Everybody trades slightly different, but I think every time you get burnt and something happens, you tend to remember it last time. And I took a trade there a few weeks ago. We were working up really nice. I thought we were going to rock it up. We had a second entry, quite nice. I took it long, it went up a couple of ticks, came down, stopped me out, started working down, and then I realised we got a bigger channel. So yeah, we have channels within channels and channels within them, but so yeah, if we do seem to start working up, I'll just put that there just to sort of make me aware. Okay, so we come down, like down 1, 2 attempts to go higher. Nah, it's just a bit risky around here. Just going to kill that colour. Okay, so that was working quite nice. In fact, you could probably even drag that to there. It's working all right, that is. But then we started going sideways and we've come up to here. So now that's broken there. Let's get rid of that. But when we continue down, there's usually something. This could be a possibility. There's a possibility. Sideways. If we can get sideways and come to here, touch a couple of times there, touch there, touch it along the back side. So if we can get up here somewhere, then Lower high there might work in my opinion, just a bit risky because you're going short into the lows. Can't go long here in my opinion because we're going down at the moment and that'll be a counter trend trade. Doesn't mean it's not going to work, but although I think it's probably likely going to get up here. Okay, so touch, touch, touch. Let's see if we can confirm this up here. Now, don't forget, if there's no one that knows, as probably most of you know, we've got 90% off Apex as from today, off all evaluations. That goes on until the 7th. So my code's down there. If you have used it or you do use it, it's much appreciated. Okay, there is a short there, which I don't think is terrible, but it's a little bit just too far off these highs for me for comfort. It may get us down at the bottom, but I'm just staying out of this at the moment. Let's see, mate. So we've got this leg down here, this channel down here. I actually kind of like this. But for me, it's got to get close to that, really, for me to get interested. I'm hoping it still goes sideways until we get something better. And if we get something decent there, I think that will encourage shorts. And then we may get a push down. But we touched here, touched here. It's fitting nice along the backside. It visually looks okay. So let's just keep an eye on it. I think if you'd have taken that one, you'd have got 2 points. Maybe not. To push through, maybe 6 ticks, I think. It's just not great. Okay, possible lower high here. Still not interested. It's not close enough to these tops. When that broke above there, I thought there could be a lower high. Whether it'll work or not, I don't know. Whether it'll set up or not, I don't, well, obviously not know, but it's just a bit risky here. It's sideways. For me, it's got to look really solid at that, the highs of that, so I'd prefer a little breakout above this, ideally, with a nice bearish bar there, and that will interest me. Okay, so channel down there, break. One attempt to go higher, two attempts to go higher. Let's have a look at this. One attempt to go higher, two attempts to go higher. Let's see if we can get something up here. No, get up. Come on. Okay, possible second entry short off here.
Order submitted.
Still not close enough to this top for me. It's just choppy around here and wicky, so that's no good for me. We need to get up here.
Order cancelled.
It is a second entry short. It's not a terrible bar, but for me, it's just wicky as hell. Okay, I'm just going to take a quick bathroom break. I will be 2 minutes. Okay. Okay. Now we're getting close. I can probably adjust that a fraction. Still a bit wicky for my liking. It's not quite. In fact, I tell you what I haven't done. Reloaded my historic. It may come down. It may. I don't. I'm just not a fan of it at the moment. It will probably come down, but it could. It could upset you. Oh, hate that. In fact, I'm even less a fan of it now. Let's have a look. Okay, I thought it would come down. It's just a bit messy for me. Yeah, it was still a bit wicky. I get why it's come down. It's tried a bunch of times, but there's just two dojis there. I don't know. Sometimes dojis, you get dojis and then it'll work. But for me, it's just a bit risky. Sorry about that. Excuse me a sec. Sorry about that. It's a parcel delivered. Okay. Second entry short there. Failure. Is it a bad trade? I just can't take it. It's right in the middle of that chop. It might work. It may come tumbling down, but just looking sideways. Just looks like an accident waiting to happen for me. I'm still not 100% confident of this, although it's fitting, but... If you take that out of the way, risky, yeah, absolutely. Okay, excuse me a sec. Okay. Sorry about that. Daughter's just walked in from school. Okay, so still going sideways. It is holding here and it's holding there quite nice. But it's sideways, and then obviously we get a break there, see, so which is why I've just not got into any of that, because it never triggered that one anyway, but it's just got danger written all over it. So what I am looking at, let me have a look at this. Just looking at the 10,000 tick chart here, and we started here and we've hit here and we seem to be coming sideways. We're getting close to this area here, so I'm going to have a look in a minute if we get up there. Let's see what goes on, but I think we're going to be moving somewhere. Let me have a look. Setups are all in congestion, which pattern chase, in my opinion, that's usually when I get in trouble. Yeah. I've just given up trading and that stuff, in all fairness. Why is that up there? I say I was trying to work out what the hell was going on. Look different on there. Okay, so this is what I think. This is what I think. Now, remember I mentioned this earlier. We're pushing up here. Now, that's why I tend to be aware of this, because we think, oh yeah, we're going up, wait for a second entry long, go long, it triggers, comes down. Why? Because there's a bigger trend there. I'm not saying there is, but I think it's just something to be aware of. Let's see how it would fit down the back. Actually fits kind of nice, doesn't it? Excuse me. In fact, let's just make it a proper trend so I can see a midline. So that's where the high of the day. Let's have a look. It actually fits really nice there. Touch lower there, but that's cool. So it is important, I think, to be aware of that. I'm not saying it's going to work, but if we come up here and you haven't got that there, you might end up going long and get stuck. And that happened to me a few times. Okay, I like the way it's gone up and it's bounced once, twice, right on that midline. I like that. So leg up, maybe a second entry long. I don't want to go long because for me it's a downtrend. And I don't counter trend trade. I've given up even making an effort. The congestion at the bottom shows oversold territory. We need a correction. Yeah, absolutely. If we can get up here somewhere, confirm that, and start to working down, I may take a lower high or a failure on the way down again. But that's, I don't think it's a bad call, just to be aware of that. And funnily enough, around about that area as well, there's some congestion there. Yesterday's lows, so that might be an area of support. So I just like to be aware of it. Let's see if we got anything yet from Uncle Mac. No, not yet. Anybody else get these? Anybody else get these emails? This is my last one. I write to you since I attached this Trojan. on the website with porn, which you have viewed my Trojan capture your private data and switched on your camera. Although I haven't got a camera. They want me to send $760 worth of bitcoins, which is quite reasonable actually for bribery. We get them all the time from different people. From Nigeria, probably. Mm-hmm. Your life can be ruined. Try learning to trade, mate, and you'll know what ruined lives feel like. Okay, so let's have a wee look here. Are we coming down from here, or are we continuing on up? The strange thing is... exactly. The strange thing is, if I look at the 10,000 tick chart and put the top of that to where we opened and put it to there, we're only really about 5 or 6 ticks from the top of this trend channel here. But on this, it's more like, sorry, points rather. Is that points? Yeah, points. We're more like double, so doesn't fit as nice. It's definitely looking like a bearish day, isn't it? There is a lower high there, which is triggered. My only slight concern is, depending on how you've got this channel, for me, we see 1, 2, 3, 4, it's bouncing on top of that midline, which tells me that's more likely going to get stopped out there. We pushed up. We will bounce once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, right on that midline. Yeah, I mean, ordinarily, if we have a break of something, we have a break of this channel, it wouldn't be a bad place to take a short. I'm not saying it's not going to work, because whether you think that's a channel or not, obviously it started going sideways, which changes the dynamics, but yeah, straight away. But I'll be surprised if there's not some people who've taken that. But you can tell it's a trap, can't you, for me? Just the way it's bouncing on there. We get 1 tick down and it turns up straight away. So this is that area. And there's short-term trend. Yeah. Yeah. In fact, there's a higher low there. That might not have been a bad trade, actually. So we got a leg up, make a new high, 1 leg back, high, low. I get why people would take that, but generally we're moving down, so I tend to avoid them anyway. I'm not saying they don't work. If I did scalp a point, I'd probably go for that. But yeah, somebody took that trade there. I'm guessing there'd have been some stops around here, which is why we had that quick push, I'd say. So let's see what happens. This was on what I was on about earlier. Somebody mentioned it about drawing these bigger channels. I'm not saying it's going to work, but let's say I didn't have that, and I've got something going on like this. Maybe not that, but well, that's rocketing up. You know, if we have a couple of legs down, and I think, oh yeah, we're going long, and it traps you, that's my concern really. I can micro adjust that for it to fit. Because it does make a difference here. So let's see if it does play out. But look what's happened there. I drew that. I didn't draw that line. That line's been there since we came down here. But it just goes to show you, doesn't it, how this makes a difference and how close we are there. So, you know, you might be thinking, oh yeah, we've come down, now we're going up. You may take a longie and it might trigger you and come down, and you might think, why? But when you zoom out and then you connect the dots, it just goes to say, Mac has that. Does he really? I think it's good to be aware of it. You don't necessarily have to, you know, follow it as such. But and the reason I draw it now is because I've been trapped going along there before, and it's come down, and I'm thinking, that's strange. Why? It's looking bullish all of a sudden. And then that's why, because we've got a bigger channel. So always just have a look for them bigger channels. If you sometimes drawing them too early can change your thoughts, which is why a while ago I just changed it to one line down there, so just at, an area of interest. But look how that's touched there, right on that resistance there. You can clearly see that there, can't you? And we're really close to the lows there, so it's surprising how this stuff, these support and resistance, you just put them on there and it makes a difference. But see, if you have this channel up, we have a break. Now, let's say there's a second entry long here and a higher low up here. You're thinking we're going to make a new high, and a lot of the times it will trigger and come down. And that's why I'm always aware of this now. For that reason. And the best way to learn is just to lose trades in it. And then you start to identify the picture and when something doesn't look right. So I'm hoping to get maybe a couple of long offerings up here and trap some longs. So if anybody's looking to go long, I'll tell you when I want you to go long, and then I can trap you then. See, you might help me out. But yeah, you can't deny that, can you? You can't deny that. You don't mind, Clay, do you? Help me out. Yeah, see what I mean? So if you haven't got that drawn and you're zoomed into that, forget. Let's take away those two lines. You're going to be thinking, okay, we've come down now, we've gone sideways, and now we're pushing up. So you might think, oh, there's a hidden second entry long there for sure, and it might work back up to here. But then I always tend to wait for the higher low, and if you think you're going higher, it can stuff you out a bit. Possible second leg up. Yeah, see, that's what I've thought in the past. We pushed up now, see? We get a higher low, triggers you, comes back down, and you think, what the hell went wrong? And then when you zoom out, you realise, look at that. We got a bit. I'm not saying it's going to, but it's always good to be aware of it because you could get stuck. So let's see if we get a higher low here. It's gone too far for a lower high, that. I'd like to get another bar open and drop back down there and trap a few longs. If you trap some longs, it always gives you that little bit of momentum when it's to stop. Okay, tick below there and then push up. It may rock it up, it could do, but it's always good to be aware that there may be some fun and games going on. I was hoping that was going to tick below, but people still may take that. Okay, let's see that trigger. Okay, that's triggered now. Let's just see what's going to happen now, but I think that's going to get stopped out. Second entry long. You could say that's a hidden second entry long and a higher low, but look. No, it hasn't. I mean, it could absolutely rocket up, but there's just certain areas just to avoid getting stuck, because you never quite know. I mean, that's going up really strongly there, but I still don't think. I think there's going to be some trap traders there. Let's see. See, after that, there may have been some taking that or that. Oh, look at that. See, that's what I mean. You never know, but it's always just good to be aware of it. There wasn't really a high low there anyway, in all fairness. Okay, there's a high low. Let's see if that triggers. The thing is, we're above that now. We're above that level now, so let's see. Let's see if that trap triggers. Okay, so Mac's got his chart out, has he? Let's have a look. There we go. Okay, let's see what Mac's got us. Yeah, Mac has got it, hasn't he? He's pretty much got the same as we've got, hasn't he? He's got that from there to there. He hasn't got this. Yeah, I wasn't a massive fan of that, in all fairness. He's got the size Mac finish. Yeah, he has got that line up there. But it's funny, it went straight up there and came straight back down, but it never triggered anything here. So that's what I mean. You never quite know. You never know. 1 minute it just hits it and drops, and you're thinking, oh yeah, this, and then sometimes it continues up. But that's the area where I've been trapped before. A high or low, it triggers you, comes down here. So it's always just good to be aware that there may be a bigger channel in place. I still think there is. This may just be a break. It's hard to say. You never quite know. Yeah, so that's Max there. So he's got the same thing there, but normally it's a bit early to put that there, but obviously he's put it there pretty early, but I'd just like to be aware of it. Okay, so so I don't know whether we're up or we're down now. That's a possibility, or it may come down. I got no iota of a clue. But until we close above this and come down and retest it and start to work higher, I'm not thinking about longs just yet. I'm not thinking about shorts either. I'm just letting it sort itself out. But we've touched a few times here and a couple of times there. So there is a possibility of a bigger channel up there. Such there, quite nice there. So we'll see. but I'd like it to bounce off this and then start to push high before I'm thinking about longs. Okay, so we bounced, we've hit it, turned down, we've pushed above it, bounced off it and pushed up strong, and we've come back down. Let's see what happens now, what sort of reaction we get now. Just getting that to sit there nice, let's see. Yeah, there's the overnight lows just above there here. So we got above it. But let's see what's happening. I got no clue what's going to happen now. Okay, so it is holding there. Touch, 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 but it's going to have to work a bit higher for me to get interested in. Maybe we trap some longs in here thinking we've had a break from this channel. Okay, big bullish bar there, which is triggered, and that's coming down by the looks of it. Let's see what happens. It's actually looking quite bullish on the 10,000 tick chart. Now sort of that bigger channel down there, we've had a couple of legs up and a push back, and it's holding, so who knows what's going to happen. Yeah, it does. If it gets below here, below that bar there, then I'd say it's probably more likely, but there's definitely some uncertainty there because we're going sideways, so it could do either or really when it does that. Who knows? See, normally when you have a breakaway channel, you make a new low. It's only really just confirmed, and it's quite a big channel, so it might not necessarily. It might just have a break out of it and teeter around the top for a bit and then continue on up. So you got chopped up in the mess down there. Yeah, I'm a bit on the fence here. It could go either or. We could continue up with a sort of a break and a new high, or this could be a break and looking for a new low, this bigger channel. But I'd say this is less likely to probably need a new low, but I don't know. And there's always the possibility this is just a range, and we've bounced off the bottom of the range, and now we're working back up. That's a possibility. So who knows what it's going to do here. There is a big, strong, bullish bar there, which is pushed up. That's 4 points, which is triggered. So it's trying to hold. You don't know. It might just come tumbling down. It may just trap some longs here and come tumbling down. There are some more longs probably in there. Although for a Pats trade, it's an inside bar, so probably can't do anything. But it may push up or it may come down. I got no idea. That's the thing about when it goes sideways. There's not a lot you can do. It's more of a coin flip when it goes like that. The overall's bearish. At some point, we're going to have something like that. But we had something similar there, didn't we? And at the time, we had a slightly less sort of less wider channel. So you just don't know. It might come down. But what do I think? As we're getting close to that bottom, I think it's probably more on the... I'd say it's more likely bearish. We take out the stops from there, then I'd say we're going to come down a bit more. How far? I got no idea. Bye. No. I've used that on and off for a year and a half. Some say they use it. It just gives you a bigger, clearer picture sometimes when it's all chart and choppy. I just like to see what it could be. So as we pushed up, there is a possibility that we could bounce, come back and just sort of test these highs, leg down, and bounce. So it's just more of maybe a bigger picture. I flip between that and the 4,000 tick one. The 4,000 tick one gives you more detail, but still a clearer picture. Thomas, oh, did he really? What, Thomas Wade watches Bye Bye Money, does he? That does surprise me. No, there are some in the Facebook group that use it. I can't remember who put me onto that. It may have been Bye Bye Money without really thinking about it. It's possible. I don't know. I got no idea. If we break below there, then I'd say it's... I expect some more downward stuff because we're trying to push up, aren't we? And it's starting to dip. It's starting to look slightly bearish, but who knows? He got battered yesterday again, didn't he? Lost. What did he lose? $1,000 off each of his 4 PA accounts. That's got. I don't know how he copes with that. If that was me, that account would have been blown for sure. What's it got battered as well? The Moo Moo guy, Moo Moo Trades guy. He'd only just started 2 new PA accounts and he lost over $1,000 on each of his. I don't like anybody seen not doing well. But when you're on your PA, especially the first day you start your PA, there's nothing worse. Yeah. I did message him after. I just said I wish him all the best. And I did say maybe think about reducing to 1 contract. It's making things easier for me. And he said he had contemplated it. So trouble is, when you get stung $1,000 on your first 2 PA accounts, it can be pretty hard to recover from that. I mean, he's lost about 40% of the total. It's hard to recover from that. In all fairness, I don't think I could recover from that. And that's part of the reason why I've reduced my risk, because these big days, I just end up taking a stupid gamble. Okay, so we've got a leg down, maybe 1, 2 legs up, maybe coming down. I got no idea. It's looking bullish, but it could trap some more balls and then just come tumbling down. So I don't know. I'm on the fence here. Okay, so I'm thinking more bearish now, funny as it sounds. Clay, I'm glad I got the dentist appointment. Yeah, I had a good day yesterday in the sense that I didn't make any money, but I didn't lose any. My patients were nice. I seem to be in a good place with patients at the moment. I don't find it difficult. I was, going back a while back, I was itching to take a trade. And I was just trying to make something out of this. And I kept getting stung. But for some reason, I've seemed to have found a nice balance with my patients. I'm quite happy. Yeah, I agree. Could go up or down. What I will say is it's trying to go up, and sometimes when it does that, and it's been quite bearish, it traps some longs here, it traps some longs there, although that hasn't triggered, and then comes down really quickly. But we've had this leg down. Okay. Oh, bloody hell. What's going on there? Quick up, quick spike. It pushed up so far, and then there was a quick sell, and that came down, so best staying out of it when it's doing that. Okay, so that's pushed up, made a new high. See, I wouldn't have expected that, which is why I don't get involved in there. Yeah, there'd have probably been some stops there, and maybe some people selling, so it pushed up, hit some stops, picked up a few sell orders, I think, and we had that quick spike. So are we now thinking about moving up? Let's have a look. Let's put that there. Let's extend that. It's not the best looking channel in the world, but okay, it is possible we could just be in a big range day. I'm going to kill that now. I'm still cautious at the moment of going long, although I think it's more likely. I'm not a massive fan of this. So we've had this channel down, which is confirmed we've had one leg and then a second leg. So it might be 2 attempts to go higher and then a drop. So until we come down here and continue on higher, I'm not getting involved, because it could be a leg, 1 attempt to go higher, 2nd attempt to go higher, and then down we come like a lead balloon. We'll have to see. In fact, this is a good time for me to make a cup of tea, I think. Let's let it sort this out. I'm not getting involved because you could get trapped here. It could be a leg and then down, or it could be continuation of the upside. Yeah, we could have hit a break and a new. Yeah, I got no idea at the moment. So I'm not looking for trays just at the moment. So I'm going to take a quick 5-minute break, make a nice cup of tea. It's important to have breaks. Not only that, I've got a 15-year-old that's probably a right mess downstairs. She's come home from school. So there's my little take a break. So I'll be back in 3 to 5 minutes. Okay. I'm back. There we go. Okay. I haven't missed anything. Clearly just going sideways. Okay. It's holding here, so that's encouraging, but it is sideways, so I'm not massively confident in jumping straight into a trade. There's yesterday's lows, just a bit above. There's clear congestion support along there, so if we can hold here and get a higher low, that may interest me. We'll see. Okay, that's positive looking. Yeah, by the way, that's rocketed up nicely. Let's see if we can get a higher low there. Just wonder if there's a penguin trade there. So we got a leg up, we got a break, a push up, 2 attempts to go lower. If we can get a higher low here, I'm interested in going long here because I don't think that's a bad call. I am aware of that though. Touched. I like the way it's touching there. It's not a wonderful looking channel, but it's a channel nonetheless, I think. I don't like it when it spikes up at that angle, spikes up at this angle, then that angle. And we are touching here, so doesn't necessarily mean we're coming down, but you've got to be a bit cautious. So that's a possibility, which would take us up to around about there. Tops of this. If we can maybe trap some shorts here and come down and push up, we may get that move we want. Or it might just go without us. Yeah, so that's a bullish pattern, isn't it? Push up, sideways, and then up again. It's going to go without us. This is okay. I'm thinking longs, looking for longs now. This may just be a bigger range. I'm hoping we come down and maybe retest the top of this, close to here. My only slight concern is We've come to the top, we've bounced, we've had one leg up, two legs up, and it's working down. I think we're moving up, but there is that possibility of a couple of legs before we come back down. I don't think we will, but it's always possible. I'm just not a massive fan of the look of that. It doesn't visually look that nice. Excuse me. So you've got to be careful here because we seem to be coming down here. So if you take a long here, it could trap you, come down, make a new low from this channel. So that's my slight concern. I don't think it will. We do seem to be moving up, and I think it's more likely it's going to push up, but it's quite a big old bar. It hasn't finished nice anyway, okay, but sometimes I've done that. I've gone long, it's triggered me and come down, made a new low and ended up going that direction. So I'm always extra cautious. Measured moves are great. Tell the trends are played out. Yeah. So sometimes the measured legs work really accurately, other times they're not so accurately. So I like that. We've had a push up there. We've had a leg or two back there. So I think it's likely. I've put that at the top of that. I've dragged that up there just to save it getting in the way. But I'd say it's a good chance we're going up there. My only slight concern is we have been coming down. And this is where there's the high of the day. It touched there twice. And it touched there twice. It went straight up in a channel and came straight down. So that confirms that channel. Now, we are still moving up. So this just could be a correction. So when we've come down at the EMA and we've had a leg up and another leg up. Now this leg's bigger and now we seem to be coming down in a channel. So I got conflicting channels. I got this one going up. I like the way it's respecting there, but the channel is messy for me and it's giving me mixed signals and we're pushing down this channel here, the little trend channel. We've got a break and a new low. And it's respecting the tops. The overall picture is looking bullish to me, but I have to be aware that it's coming down. So if I go long here and it traps me and I post this later on the chart, and people say, well, you can clearly see it's making lower lows in a channel. So it's just caution there. So I think, it's still holding nice and it may just push up, but I have to accept the fact that we are coming down in a channel there, and often when we make a channel, we'll make a new low. So this just could be a bit of a couple of legs out and then more down. So I'm just sitting tight here. Now, if we can get above here and then start working again, then I'm interested. But I just want to give the opportunity to get trapped. So if I take that higher low, I like for it to tick above me and at least give it the option to take out that bar. And if it doesn't and continues up, then I'm thinking long. So let's just see. This could be a second entry short. If that triggers up here, I think that might come down bearish. In other words, there's a second entry short. Let's see if it does. I'm hoping it goes up, but I have to be aware. So we got this leg down. We've had a break. That might be a lower high coming down, making a new low from this channel. So that to me straight away is looking precarious, which is why I didn't take that higher low, although it does fit really nice off there. So that's the problem when you got conflicting. And now whether you think we're going high or low, there's something else going on. We're going sideways. So I'm not the only one that's conflicting. Are we going up or are we going down? Other traders are, you've got conflicting patterns here, and there's the problem. So when we get that, it's just nothing we can do really. Micro downtrend, yeah, it's so if you'd have taken that higher low there, and I get why you would have done, because look how it's working along that line. Now I'd like to see if it triggers there and breaks above there, then I think we're going up. But my thoughts are it's going to take that stop out. I hope I'm wrong if anybody took that, because I get why you took it high or low. It's working nice here. Let's see if it holds. It's not broken the stop yet, but I figure it will. Yeah, it's why I didn't take that high or low. So we've got a leg up and a higher low. So I get why you take that. But I mean, look. Touch, 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 touch. Perfect. Perfect. it's fitting lovely there, so I get why someone will go along there. But I've just learnt over time, I mean, let's forget that. I've learnt over time, just look at, look what you might be missing. And there's clearly a channel there. The overall in this bit looks bullish. But you have to appreciate that there's a channel down there, and it is, whether you're because I've been guilty of it myself in the past, being that focused on we're going on one direction, you can't open your eyes to something else is possible. Although it's looking, let's make that a different colour, make it a bit darker. Let's sort of suck your eyes into it a bit more. But if you look at that, right from here, it looks like it's bottoming. Right from here, it's working in there. Although for me, it's messy. But it is fitting nice along there, and you have to accept that. And you've also got to accept there, but okay, but there is a bit of a channel coming out. Now, is that channel just working down till it gets to here before it goes off again? Possible. But I think you need to be aware that it might not be possible as well. So for me, you've got to wait to get above all this shit, wait for it to push again. So if you've held in there and you think we're pushing up, your stop's been hit. If you took the higher low, you got triggered and your stop got hit. So that's why I never get in there anymore. I always wait for it to take out any possible highs and move on, because I've been trapped that many times. And that's one of the good things about getting trapped. It makes you learn quickly not to get trapped. But that would have worked for a bit. But I always wait for the higher low. But the higher low just wasn't high enough for me, unfortunately. But but there are times where I've taken that trade, and I bet there's quite a few people that did take it. And the way that came down, there's definitely some stops around here. Better wait for failure. Absolutely, absolutely. That's the thing about waiting for failures. It just gives you, or it gives them the option to stop you out. So if you leave that one, there's your higher low, okay, and it might work. It might rock it up. But then if you wait for the failure, it just gives that chance for you to get triggered. So that bar there, the higher low, got triggered. It just gives it chance to stop it out, because if you jump straight in there, it stops it out, you've lost the trade. Whereas if it comes back a bit and pushes a bit higher and makes a failure, then chances are then you're good to go. But it is conflicting. 1 minute it's looking pretty bullish, but there's this little bearish pattern. So which is more important? Who knows? I just know this is just a messy looking channel, although it is still working nice up there. And that's how it gets you sometimes. So I've learned not to get involved in these areas. That one would have worked, but I always wait for the next one. But if anybody had taken that, and I bet there'll have been somebody taken that, who won't necessarily have their eye on this, will just be thinking about the bullish, and that would have been me a while ago. So it is still possible we could still push up, and it is possible we could come down. So I'm a bit on the fence here. Not only is it coming down a bit, it is coming down, but then it goes sideways a bit. So it's just so many times I'd have just been looking for trades in here because I thought I had to understand what's going on. Well, you don't. Well, you do understand what's going on. It's going sideways, which means there's indecision. So, the likes of me and you don't move these markets. Most of us, even if we're on a PA, are still on a demo. We don't move these. But if, the people who move these markets are people with money. And if they're unsure, conflicting very... Absolutely. Absolutely. And when you start to learn that out of getting trapped, and it's the best way. So if you are still getting trapped a lot, don't beat yourself up. You really learn from it, and the best way to learn is to get stuffed again and again. But you do learn, and then after a while, you for me, the way I describe it, sometimes I'll look at a setup and I'll go, it doesn't look right, something doesn't feel right, and I think the times I've been trapped, you have a mental picture of this, because I'm staring at it now, and it almost, you build up a little memory of pictures, don't you, that don't look right. So sometimes I find it hard to put my finger on it. It's clear there for me, but sometimes I put it hard to put my finger on why it doesn't look right. But you sort of build up that little instinct, don't you? Because you've been in these situations many times before. But that for me was a trap. Now, it could have absolutely rocketed up. There's always that possibility. But the good thing about leaving that trade is one thing you can guarantee: you won't lose a penny. So that channel is at a break and a new low. So what are we doing? Are we going up or are we going down? Your guess is as good as mine. See if you could predict that. You can make yourself a bloody fortune, couldn't you? Yeah, it's just getting hard to read now. It's choppy, could go up, could go down. I thought we got a leg down. We may come back up here and start to work down. What I will say is we seem to be going sideways there, so let's pop that there. Let's just shove that over a bit, bring that down. So I'd say we're going sideways a bit. I think it's probably the best option because I can't work it out. And smart money are playing here. You do learn though. And I've got to say, when you spot these areas and you think that look right to me, that's got trapped, and it would have trapped you, it really builds your confidence in your skills. Because I think why a lot of people jump in, and I'm guilty of that myself. Sometimes when I get a new PA, or I've got a new PA in the past, I'll jump straight in and take a silly risk with high contract size to try and get a bit of a head start, I used to call it. If I can try and get up to $1,000, get a bit lucky, then I'll go careful from then on. And the reason I did it is because I didn't have the confidence and belief I could do it myself. I feel like I needed a bit of a helping hand, a little bit of luck to get me going. You know, because it can take time to build them, but because this is such a difficult thing to learn, it takes time to read the context and apply your strategy to the context. It's one of those jobs, I think, that doesn't, you know, you need time to have confidence in your skills. And at some point, your skills will outweigh your confidence and things will just tip in your favour. 4 green trays today. Good for you, mate. Second entry short. Yes, I can't see that. Yes. For some reason, on the last comment, I got a little bloody icon here, which I can't see, so I have to have a look there. But if you got some trades that a day, good on you. Yeah, see, you may have even gone short there, but in all fairness, it is just sideways. All I know is to keep out of that trade, and that trade may work. But it's another one of those days. I don't think it's as bad as yesterday, because we are moving. Unfortunately, we didn't really have any great setups. There was one there. Under the circumstances, I don't think that's that bad. I'd say Mac will mark that for sure, but at the time, I had my trend channel like that. And the reason I had it like that is because it was working nice in the top tier. So we had a break and a new low. So we had a new low, so I wasn't thinking about taking that short because we'd had a break in a new low and we could move up. But then as we continued down, I adjusted my channel to there, and then in that case, that second entry short there looks nice. But the trouble is, as this is coming down, we normally start our trend channel from there and then to the next real swing, and unfortunately none of this was involved in that, so yeah, it's one of them things. Okay, still completely unpredictable, but I don't mind there. Some days you have good days. I mean, yesterday I didn't have a trade at all. The day before I had 3 winning trades. First time I've had 3 winning trades for quite a time. But it happens sometimes. Sometimes you get nothing for a day or two, then you might get 3 trades in a row. Today, you think so? Yeah, there was more choppy areas. Every time we had a move, we had chop. But yeah, it's getting that way, especially now, isn't it? Yeah, everybody reads it. See, if you'd have taken a trade yesterday earlier on, you'd have seen yesterday as not a bad day. Because I find sometimes if you can get a trade early, you can sort of sit through this and it doesn't bother you. You don't feel like you've missed out. So it's always nice to get a trade early, but that fits lovely in there now. But at the time, at the top of this channel was fit in there. If I'd have had it like that, then that would have been a pretty good second entry short. But I failed to see. Excuse me a sec. Sorry about that. I forget where I was, yeah. Okay. I forgot what I was saying. That's what happens when you get to 54. Your pink uptrend channel is wrong. You think so? I don't think it's a case of being wrong. I think it's a case of not looking that good. But what I will say is we've touched once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's touching nice along there, so you have to take that into consideration. Okay, we've touched nice at the top as well. So, although I don't think it's the best looking trend channel in the world, I wouldn't say it was wrong, but I'm not a massive fan of it. But as we've had a break of it, if we continue up, then I think it's more likely it is. But it's one of those things. It's a personal thing with these. I see some people having trend channels, and I think that doesn't look right. But what I will say is, look how it's working up there, and you have to acknowledge that. But like I have said, it's very messy. It's shooting this way and that way, and it's so it's there anyway. But whether it's valid or not is well, it's just one of those things. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. There is a possible lower high there. Same again, it's sideways and choppy. So will it work? Probably. But it's not for me. And it's not pink, it's purple, Alfredo. Come on, get your colours right. Pink's a girl's colour. Purple's more men. So it's purple. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's not the best looking channel, I'll give you that, but it's, you know, it's one of those things. If it continued up there, then, you know, maybe, but there we go. But no trades so far. It's not been a terrible day, but it's not been the easiest of days. The only one I can see is that one which I'd have taken, but obviously, as I just mentioned at the time, that top of that channel was sitting on top of those, fitting nice after a break and a new low. That's a trade I didn't fancy at the time because it is a bit further from the EMA than I like, although it did work, but we weren't to know it was going to continue down at the time, so there we go. Osami's probably got 30 points knowing him. See, what I will do is kill that colour. So it's an area of interest. You got 10. So, okay, so what I will say is, speaking from, now, if it's Clay's or not, speaking from a penguin point of view, that, although not an amazing looking channel, but I don't think it's terrible. It's working up there. Now we've got a break. We've made one attempt to go lower, and we've made a second attempt to go lower. So if this can manage to push up through that EMA, that might be a penguin setup. Now, if there's any penguin traders in here, correct me if I'm wrong, but we are working up. Whether you call it a channel or not, we're clearly working up. What do you say a channel is? It's when we're making, when we're trending, we're making consistent higher highs and higher lows, and we are there. Every one of those is higher than the previous one, so you've got to say we're going up. But there we go. So that might be a leg and a leg, and we may push up, but at the moment, I ain't got a clue. So there's a failure there. There's a second entry long there. There's a failure. I can't see many going along there. So, but I can see that stop getting out. There is a second entry long, but it's not a... that's a Pat's channel, in fact. It looks like it, doesn't it? In fact, it kind of looks better now I've taken the colour out of it. It is a bit messy in parts, but you have to acknowledge it's working along that line, and it's not terrible there. So as we've had a break, we've made one attempt to go lower and pushed up strongly, and this is a second attempt. So that failure there that's triggered, if that pushes up strongly and closes above the EMA, I would fancy that then to get to the top of this. I won't take it because I'm just monitoring. That's looking positive. I'm just monitoring the penguin style at the moment. I did try and move over to it, but doing it solely I found was a bit difficult, and all I was seeing then, funnily enough, is Pat setups. So let's see if this pushes up. I want this above the EMA, and if it breaks above that bar, it will be. And I like the way there's a second entry long which is triggered, and there's a failure, kind of a nice failure, which is triggered. So if that stops out, that will close above, or hopefully close above the EMA and that bar, in which case we may then get a push back to the top. I will say that penguin guy is an absolutely brilliant chart reader, in my opinion. And he did start at Pat's, but he's just spent time watching charts, and he's sort of seen a setup of his own. And I get why that happens. The more you sit day in, day out seeing these, you'll notice your own patterns and setups. And I genuinely believe that's why Mac doesn't show us his trades, because what he teaches us, he breaks his own rules because he can do it. He knows how it works. This is confusing. Yeah, it is. If you're looking for PT setups, notice where the overnight low is. It's along here, isn't it? It's here. Yeah. Overnight low is this double top ending. And this uptrend is where the overnight low is now. Yeah, so it's just above that. In fact, it's just above that midline, isn't it? In fact, I'll tell you what I'll do. Why isn't that highlighting? Oh, it is. Okay, I'm just going to move that there to the overnight low so we've got a clearer picture. Okay, so that has stopped that out, which is positive. It's quite nice and bullish there, but now that's coming back. So if I was going to take a trade there, I will probably take it somewhere around about there. This may just be a pullback, or maybe a bit lower. Maybe a tick above there and clearly out before the tops. But only if that pushes up and takes it. If that pushes up and clips that area, then I'd say there's a good chance then I expect to get up to the tops. I'm not... then we'll have had 3 bullish bars in a row coming from this area here, which I... excuse me, I think's okay. That's okay, it's closed above the EMA. So let's see if that would have worked as a Pat's trade. So there's 24 ticks there, so that's what, 6 points? Thereabouts, 6 points. We'll see. I also agree, looking at the small time frame chart, think bigger time frame chart. Going for 1-to-1 is a really clever way of playing the game. I agree, mate. I have my profit set at 3 points, and I kind of like that because most bars now will be 3 points and under slightly. Some might be over that, but I think that's as close to 1-to-1. I have mine set net. Now, on some occasions, I'll reduce that. It depends. And on others, I may extend it. So if we have a really perfect leg up, 2 perfect legs of correction, and then a nice higher low, and it's all the stars are aligning, then I'll probably extend that to 5 or 6 maybe. But that's where I like to be 3. But I've got no problem in coming down to 2 or 6 ticks. But I'm not really interested in scalping a point. If I only think it's going to go a point, it's probably not a great setup anyway. I think the good setups really work and move. If you get a really good strong setup, they just rock it up, don't they? The swing low before the... Oh, right, yeah, I got you. That's what I do, study all sorts of charts. Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So you start seeing master pattern. I think you almost, when you're seeing something day in, day out, it goes without saying, you'll see patterns of your own, you'll see things happening. If you see something happening again and again and again, it's inevitable you'll start to go, well, next time it does that, I'm going to take that because it makes perfect sense. Penguin knows that pattern. Yeah, he does. He's very good at what he does. So that never triggered above anywhere. So I wouldn't have taken that just there. But that never triggered anyway, so so I don't know if anybody would have taken that. Would he have taken that there? Probably not. No. So what are we doing here? It's getting a bit tough to read, isn't it? We have this little channel with a break and a new low. Push up again. It has tried to go up, but it's, for me, I think it's more likely going to break these lows. Because that, I would say, confirms that channel. And it looks like a leg and a leg. And it's tried to push up a bunch of times, but it's starting to fail. So I would say I expect a new low at some point. But I don't know where it is or when it's going to be. Is that a possibility? It's possible, but I don't know. It's still a bit sideways and a bit choppy, so... I don't know. It's a bit shallow, that. Not sure about that one. Widen the down channel, it's 2-tier. Are you on about what I've just done there, have you, bud? Are you on about something from there? I mean, that looks 2-tierish, doesn't it? Just got to be cautious because taking away all this, it's just going sideways, isn't it? Although we are starting to, well, from here really, we're starting to see lower highs. But you just never know. You might go short and it might just rack up. Israel, it's been a while since you've been here. How you doing? I haven't spoken to you for a while. How are you keeping? Yeah, it could be a bigger channel. It's possible. Or maybe something like that. Is possible. In fact, that probably doesn't look too bad, does it? Let me have a look. Okay, that doesn't look too bad, I don't think. Let's kill that colour. 0. Touch. That's not too bad. Start from 11:04 Eastern Time. 11:04 Eastern Time. Yeah, you're about there, aren't you? Is that about right? Yeah, 11:04, 16:04 for me, 5 hours ahead. So yeah, that's about right. In fact, let me get rid of that. Let's change this to a nice colour. Okay, so we touched there. Pretty good there. In fact, I could probably take that down a wee smidgen. Yeah. It's not bad. It's not bad, but it's still sideways within there, so I'm just to be a bit cautious here. And we've broken above it there. I like the way we hit that middle line and turn, but see if we can get a lower high here or something. I don't think it's worth adjusting that. See, I suppose you could do. In fact, you could even... actually, that would fit. In fact, it's funny how that's happened. This actually turned down really strong. That's 22 tick bar, so perhaps that's telling us something. Okay, so you're around about there then, aren't you? Something like that anyway, and it's touching those tops anyway, so that's okay, whether it's here or here or not. Probably a bit too shallow from there, it's going to skim over the tops of them otherwise, but I think that is that's a pretty good indicator that we're hitting an area where we're going down. It's 22-point bar, that's probably one of the biggest bars we've had all day, isn't it? Certainly one of them. Can I ask you guys to hit the like button, if that's okay? I'm just trying to grow the channel, actually, and apparently it does affect how YouTube puts it out. I don't like to ask, but if it grows it a bit, yeah, all good. But wonderful, thank you. I don't know how much of a difference it does make, but okay, so yeah, it does seem to be working there. Now we've just touched off that bottom line there. No setup. Yeah, I mean, you're probably going to get your points off that, but that's a rather large bar, isn't it? That is. What was it? 22 ticks, something like that. So if you went a tick above it, and the tick below it, it's 6 points. Yeah. Excuse me. Probably a bit more of a risk than really you want to take, isn't it? So, let's see what happens now. So, I think now it's probably likely that we come down and make a new low, I would say. Let me just kill that a minute. See, there is always the possibility we could do this, which would take us down to just below 4,200. It's possible, but I would say my first target is the overnight lows. If you call that the overnight lows, no, you wouldn't, would you? Just the lows of the day. But that's not very steep channel, so I think it's quite feasible. We may drop out the bottom of there. Otherwise, we're going to be going here forever and a day. So I won't be surprised if we saw a quick drop out that bottom. There is a lower high there. It's just come a bit too far for me and it's too close to the lows there. Yeah, see, there's the 10,000 tick chart above my head. I've gone for this as a spiking channel. I don't know whether this works or not. It's quite wide, so touched here, touched a bunch of times here. Not too bad down there. I'm not a massive fan of it. It's a bit too shallow and a bit too... if I forget I said anything. Okay, I think this is going to drop out the bottom. I think that's too shallow. I think it's going to come down there a bit quicker than this way. Excuse me. I've never really bothered with likes. I don't think you've ever heard me mention it apart from yesterday, but someone said to me the other day, you should do, because if it grows your channel, you get a little bit of money from YouTube. Not much. I get about $50 a month, but it pays me trading. Well, part of it, I suppose, up until now. But I'm trying to be a bit more sensible with my So, yeah, but if it does grow, it doesn't cost you guys anything more, but I'm here anyway, so if it does grow, happy days. Thank you, Kev. My little cheerleader. Okay, it's holding here. I still think it's going to drop. It's not a very shallow channel. Sorry, it's not down at a very steep angle there. And to get down to these lows, it's going to have to come back up here and that. So I can't see it somehow. So I think this is just going to fall. The like viewers ratio makes it show up to more. Yeah, somebody told me that. But I think this is type of content you get much attention outside that you do not. No, it's surprising actually how many people trade other setups as well as Pat's. But I mean, for me, I started it mainly just to make me more accountable, because I did less stupid things when people were watching me. But then I really like the idea of getting to know other people. When I first started trading, the guy I traded under told me, surround yourself with people you want to be like. So I like the way, I chat with you guys on and off, YouTube. I get messages from bunches all the time, so we chat night and day sometimes. And I like that. It's nice to get to know people from all over the world. It's surprising who you talk to. Ain't technology amazing? 20 years ago, we wouldn't be doing this, see? Okay, so that bottom has held for now. So, let me have a look. Is there any reason that won't come down any further? Not really. The overnight lows are up here. The lows of the day are here. There is a little bit of congestion here. So if we can get a second entry short somewhere around there, that may interest me. It could be invisible support unless. So a second entry short somewhere here, that I'll be quite interested in that. Is there two legs down here? Could we possibly go higher? Possible, although I don't think likely. So let's have a look. No, go away. So we're going to touch there, touch there, touch there. So there's possibly a couple of legs. So we've got a channel up there, possibly a couple of legs. It could go higher. I don't think it will at the moment. I'm thinking bearish. It's been bearish a chunk of the day with the exception of a couple of little pull-ups. We had one here and then we came down some more. So I think we could get another leg down there. It's certainly possible. But I still need a decent Sigma bar. So we'll see. Let's see what happens. It might come down for me. I still think it's going to fall at the bottom, I do. It's not a very steep channel. And there's not a massive amount of room to the lows of the day. What is it? 2, 4, 6, 8 points. 2, 4, 6, 8 points. Yeah, 9 points somewhere, which is not a lot. We get a quick steep drop and that'll soon clear that up. Okay, here comes that drop. Come on. Come on, down you come. Leg, pull back, leg. So we're coming down here, I think. Although it is holding there, but I still think we're going to have a drop. That's triggered, so let's come down. There we go. Now come down. Come on. That would take us right down to the lows of the day. So I think that's going to come down without pushing back up. I'm going to trade a bit longer today. My wife and daughter have gone out shopping, so probably going to do another hour, I think, something like that, maybe. There we go. We're a few points off this. Oh. Yeah, it's right on that low of the day, that other leg, so I'll be shocked if we don't hit it. Unfortunately, there's no real entry. You definitely want to don't want to go, although I'm pretty sure it was coming down, you certainly don't want to be going short there. I was kind of hoping we'd tick above there, and that would send it down a bit quicker. We are going sideways, so we may even get a A second entry short off this area to come down. That might not be terrible. Now it is an overshoot, and I'd like it to come down here first before we do decide to push up if it does go up. A lot of times off overshoots can result in a reversal, but I think a lot of times we'll do this. If you see overshoot, sometimes we'll do an overshoot, we'll pull back, we'll drop, hit a point, and then we'll reverse. So I kind of like that for here. I still think we'll hit that. And possibly reverse. Let's have a look at the bigger picture. We'll leg a leg. Yeah, I think we will. Is that pullback 50%? Let me have a look. I feel it might do. Let's have a look. Where are we? Oh, yeah, look at that. In fact, that can come down a fraction. Let's have a look. Okay, look at that. Absolutely perfect. 50%. If you pull back, there's a 50%. So there could be like a leg and a leg. So I think there's a good chance we're going to make another leg down. Hey, Stop Hunter, how you doing, pal? How you doing? So yeah, although it's an overshoot and it could push up. Sorry. I think it will push up. We've come down. We've made a 50% pullback exactly right to the nail. So I certainly think we'll hit this target here. And then we may bounce or we may continue down. We'll either go sideways, go up or go down. That I can guarantee you. Okay, so I'd like to see that trigger long and then come down to this area. Okay, so let's see if that triggers. Because after that overshoot, I'll be pretty certain that there's going to be some traders going long there. I'd still like to see it retest this and come down. So if that gets stopped out, I can see that target and hit. There is a possibility we'll rock it up, but I don't think it will. But as I mentioned a minute ago, a lot of times it'll do that when we get an overshoot. It'll pull back, drop, hit a point, and then start to reverse. And I think that's what that's going to do. Touch, touch, touch. It's touched in 3 places there. It might not be a bad trade, but in all fairness, it's congested. But there are 2 points to the lows, so I think that will come down and hit the lows if it stays bearish. Once it triggers that stop out, because after the overshoot, there's probably going to be some traders taking along there. So let's see what happens. So when that hits that short, if it does, sorry, the stop, if it does, then that leg will be played out, I think. Or there is a possibility of a break. Second entry short off the bottom of this channel, the bigger channel. We shall see. So touch, touch, touch. I like that. Unfortunately, I can't take the short because of the overshoot, because there is a possibility it could go up. So I still think it'll come down and play this measured leg out. That's what we need to get below. Okay, missed it by a tick. This one should do it. So once we get below here, I'd be reasonably confident that that measured leg will get hit. Okay, so we broke below there. Beautiful. There'd have been some stops there. I get why people have taken that one overshoot, thinking there's an overshoot. Nice big bullish bar, trap out. There's probably some shorts there, but for me, it's, I don't know, it's sideways, it's down. I still think this measured leg will get hit, and it's close to the lows, and it has pulled back 50%. So for me, that was just a mistake going along there. So that's played out, but look how it fits there. Look, it's just sometimes these measured legs just they astound you, don't they? So we clearly now made a new low. So now what are we doing? Not a clue. We could go up. We've come down. We've had a 50% pullback, and we've come down and made a new low, albeit by a tick or two. So the possibility is we've got a leg and a leg. We may continue down, or we could bounce, but I haven't got a foggiest. So we got a channel there. Touch, touch, touch there. Little break, new low. So that's played out. So now it could reverse. So I'm a bit on the fence here. I would expect it to push up somewhat, but I'm on the fence of whether we actually start to push up or whether we come down, because really there is a possibility that we could just be in a bigger overall channel, range channel. It's possible. You know, I might look finished now and look at the chart. We might end up here in the, late this afternoon. So it's just at an area at the moment where I'm unsure of what I think's going on. Kind of wish I'd have taken that. You're targeting 42.15, are you? Down here. Yeah. I'm a bit on the fence here. I expect a bit of a pullback. Whether it does reverse or not, I don't know. We've pulled back 50% and we've made a new low. And we've played out that measured leg. So I expect a bit of a pullback, first and foremost, but then I've got no idea. But if you look at the 10,000, sorry, this is the 4,000 tick chart. We could have sort of a leg, a bit of a pullback into the leg. It could continue down, and it might not look fantastic now, but by the end of the day, we've touched here, touched a bunch of times here, touched a few times. If this comes down and hits this area a bit and that, then maybe that won't look too bad. So it's a possibility we're going to come down. I'd say it's more likely going to come down than go up. But apart from that, I wouldn't bet on it. But it is a bit choppy. Okay. Are we bottoming here? Okay, keep in mind we've got this discount on now, if, just in case anybody doesn't know, 90% off Apex or all evaluations. Okay, so channel break, 2 pushes down to a new low, clearly made a new low, nice bullish bar. Let's see what happens here. Mum's red. Moo. Oh, is he? I had a quick chat with him last night. Got a quick message with him. He started 2 new PAs yesterday and was $1,000 down on each of them. It was our day yesterday. Luckily I managed to stay out of it all, but it's hard to recover from that. In all fairness, he's lost about 40% of his drawdown. It's hard to recover from that. I'd find that hard to recover from. So he's playing a sort of frustration catch-up mode today. Unfortunately, I did mention to him about considering to come down to 1 contract that he said he had, or he was. Trouble is, you lose 2 or 3 quite large bars in a row, 3 points or something like that. I mean, what's the ATR now? So you have a tick above. The ATR is 2.62 at the moment. So let's say, for argument's sake, we pick an average bar, tick above, tick below. It's over 3 points. So you lose 2 trades in a row, you're $600 odd down. It's quite a chunk of money, especially when you've only got $2,500. And if you don't manage to get away, then if you've taken 2 losses, the chance of you having a 3rd loss if you stay at the chart is pretty high. And if you do have 3 losses, you're talking the best part of $1,000. You've lost 40%. You're not going to recover from that. You got to be pretty disciplined to come back from that, which is why professional traders talk about 1 to 3%. Some institutions apparently only risk 0.5%. The guy I did a mentorship with, Andrew Lockwood, he worked for lots of city banks back in the 80s when he was a trader in a pit trader in the London Stock Exchange during the 80s. And he worked for some big banks, and he said a lot of banks only just risk 0.5%. But I've heard Daniel and a couple of others talk about up to 5% with futures. Now, speaking from a Pat's point of view, we tend to go for a higher win rate at less points, so you're going to lose less trades. So whether that reflects with the 5% or not, I'm not sure. There is a second entry short there. And that's tempting. It does seem to be continuing down. So, what do I think about that? I'm not so sure about that. What was I saying? So 5%, if you're trading 1 contract and you lose, say, I don't know, $135, $145, it's around about 5%, somewhere around about there, maybe slightly over, but much better to deal with than 2 contracts. The trouble is, you lose 2 trades on 2 contracts. Hard to come back from, that is. It mentally stuffs you. So you lose $600. Now, shoes on the other foot, you come down to 1 contract, you lose $300 maximum. That's doable. Especially if you're used to. If all you've ever traded is 2 contracts, you're used to that amount of money. So when you come down to one contract, the losses are half the amount, and it does make a difference. So a couple of losses has less of an impact on you. But unfortunately, I think everyone got battered yesterday. Moo Guy, yeah, he was on his 2 contracts. Panda Guy, he's got 4 PAs. He lost $1,000 on each of them, so he was down $4,000. So that's a lot of damage. That's a lot to recover from. That is. I wouldn't be able to recover from that. I'd try and get lucky. It's not the way to work, but I'd try and get lucky. So I think really the answer is not to get you. The answer is not to get you into that situation in the first place. And the only way you really do that is to reduce the risk. And it makes perfect sense. You reduce the risk, you reduce the stress. Less stress, you're less likely to do something stupid. But it's the one thing I've always avoided. But yet I've had lots of people tell me you should go down to one contract, but I've been a bit stubborn there, thinking, oh yeah, but it's going to take ages to. But it may take a bit longer to grow. But if you spend the next 6 months just trading 2 contracts and blowing account after account, you might as well just go down to one contract. You know, I'm $200 under $100,000, and that's taken me 2 weeks. So that's $2,000 a month. You trade for 3 months, $6,000 a month. That's an amount you can regularly take some money from. So it takes a little bit longer, but what I find is I actually don't really make less money, because sometimes when you get into a trade with 2 points, you get nervous when it comes back a bit, and I've got out of trades for a tick, couple of ticks, a point, whereas with only trading one contract, you tend to leave it a bit longer and let it do its thing, and I think you make the same money. Personally, it doesn't seem to be a massive difference in what I was making, and sometimes you get a bit scared to take a trade as well, whereas with one contract, it's not quite so scary. It's a shame, really. When I first started trading, I watched him a bit more, and he had lots of green days. He seemed to do okay, but over the last, I don't know, year or so, he just seems to have lost his way a little bit, which is a shame. I don't like seeing anybody doing badly. But he's almost come up with his own sort of trading plan, which it's, struggling to work. And who am I to tell anyone that, but he does seem to have lost his way a bit, which is a shame. I don't like to see anybody doing, because I know how gut-wrenching it is when you blow these accounts. We've got a break of this, if you think this is a bigger channel. I originally had it to there, so that was the break, and two legs down, 2-0, but it does seem to be, I thought after this overshoot, if it's going to go up, it'd have done it by now. But no, it's a shame. I don't like seeing anybody doing bad. So, clearly congestion, so a bit untradeable, really. Oh, look. Okay, so if you took that second entry short, the bar wasn't brilliant anyway, but it just had a quick flick up. I'm trying to think why. Mind if you'd taken that short there, your stop still be intact. So, okay, 1 leg, 2 legs. There's 2 legs back there, so excuse me. 1 leg. That bar hasn't triggered yet, but it looks like a leg and a leg. My only slight concern is I'm still aware of this overshoot, and I think if that I was going to trigger, it would have done it by now. Leg down, 2 legs up. It does look like 2 legs up. No, I'm sitting tight. It's trying to push up for me. Yeah, you're probably right, mate. You're probably right. I'll tell you what, who's not trading at the moment. The gorilla guy. I actually thought he was okay. But I was chatting with a guy maybe a month, 5 weeks ago on Messenger, and he was saying he's okay. So we got 1, 2, almost like a triple test. He was saying he was signing up, and he was chatting to me online and say he was gonna
Order submitted.
sign up, and he paid, and then the gorilla guy sent him his money back and says he was stopping trading for a while. That looks like a triple test to me. Although caution. Come down. 1, 2, 3 attempts to go higher. Let's see. No.
Order
no
cancelled.
good. Okay, excuse me just 1 second. I'm just going to take a quick bathroom break. Okay. I'm going to put that back to where that was. And that is a break. 2 pushes down to new low. This could be reversing. We've pulled back. We've come down in this leg. We've pulled back 50% and we've made a new low. And there's an overshoot. So I think this could be reversing. So let's see. There is a bit of sideways. Let's give it a chance to pull back in. But if it drops back and kicks off the top, bounces off the top, that might be an option to look for a long there. Let's see. That's possible. Or it might come from there and be a little bit steeper. Let's make it a bit steeper. That's better. Okay. That's tempting.
Order submitted.
Big ass bar that. Let's see if I can get this on a limit order. Come back and get me, you bastard. Come on. Come on.
Order submitted.
Okay. See how we got on here. I kind of like that. Okay, it is an overshoot, so there could be a push off in that direction. There is a break and a new low. We have made a new low for the day, so let's see what happens. I think it's worth the risk. I kind of like it. It's a nice big bullish bar. Let's see what happens. Going to give that one extra tick. Sometimes it makes a difference. That's a failure there. It's triggered that. So that's, I think, a good sign. Only slight concern, it may come down and retest this top first, so we'll see. I'll give it an extra tick. Let's just see what happens. Okay, there's the extra tick. See if it makes a difference. Sometimes it saves you. We'll see. I don't think it's going to in this case.
Stop filled.
Okay, never mind. So, okay, so that's... let's have a look. I thought that was okay, actually. But there we go. It's working nice in there. Nice big bullish bar. After the break, the overshoot. Let's see. Okay, so we're down. What are we down there? 3 points. Okay. Minus 3. Okay. Okay, let's see if this is any better. Let's see if we can get a second entry. Oh, look at that. It's done exactly where I was hoping it was going to go. That's frustrating when it takes you out for a couple of ticks and then rockets off where you expect it to go. Oh well, it's just come down and retested that top. That's frustrating, but there we go. Yeah, I gave it one. I usually give it one extra tick, but it's just one of those things, isn't it? I thought there was a good chance, but what can you do? It's probably come down and retest the top of this. Where did I get out exactly? I think it was an extra couple of ticks it got me for, but well, it's one of those things, isn't it? I got no problem with that. Trouble is, where'd you draw the lines? You just keep, you know. So let's see if we're getting something bigger here. Possible. Quite close to the highs anyway, so there's nothing I can really do about that at the moment. Is that played out? It sort of has. Okay. Let's put that there. Touch, touch, touch. Okay. Couple of legs down, confirm this, and let's go up some more. So, we got this channel there. We had an overshoot. We had a channel down break, new low, made a new low for the day. So, maybe we can catch something here. We'll see. Trouble is, you bring it down a tick, another tick. Where do you draw the line? It's just one of those things, isn't it? There's not a lot you can do, really. But after that leg, I was pretty sure we would like to get another leg. But, well. Let's see what happens here.
Order submitted.
So we got sort of a little leg and a leg, maybe a leg and a leg. Let's see how this works out.
Order cancelled.
Okay, leg down. It's so hard to say what it's going to do here. Let's see if we get a higher low. Can't just take that first one. Let's just clean this up a bit. Could just be a bigger range at the moment. We got this leg down break, new low. I'm not a fan of that anymore. I got no idea what we're doing. Whatever we're doing it slowly. There is a possibility there's another trend coming down there. Leg down, 2 legs of correction. Okay. New low again. If we can get a couple of legs up, I think we're likely to make a leg and a leg. So let's see if we can get a set up. Come on, get back up a bit. That would take us down there somewhere. Didn't you have a target down here somewhere? Didn't you lose some? Around about 215. Come on, get up. Have a bit of a break. I think I'm going to push up, retest this bottom. Then that might work for a short then. Let's see. So we've got a channel down. Let's have a couple of legs up. Come on, give us something.
Order submitted.
It certainly would, wouldn't it? Or even down a bit and then maybe something here. We'll see. So speaking from a penguin point of view, we got a leg down, one attempt to go higher, two attempts to go higher. So however we can get up here would be nice. Lower high will do the trick. You took the second entry short. Which one? That's only first entry, that. See what happens here. Get a break above there. Come on, retest this bottom again. Outside bar reversal at the EMA, second entry short. Little pullback here. Be nice to get to that measured leg then. And there could even be a bigger measured leg. Where's the high from there to there and there? That's a possibility. That would be nice. Well, either or. I'll be happy with that one in all fairness. But we've got a leg down, couple legs of correction. It does look like we're working down, doesn't it? We've got to break higher. Come on. Come on, get up, you bugger. I think it's just going to drop without us, which is a bit unfortunate, but there you go. That's frustrating.
Order cancelled.
Okay, what are we doing? We're definitely going down. There's no argument there. Come on. Okay, excuse me a sec. I'm just going to take a quick bathroom break. I'm guzzling water today, see, so it's coming through me. Excuse me a second. Okay. It's got to come back so far. It's got to be encouraging for shorts to get back in it, see. Take a short down here, it's just going to sting you. Let's get one ready
Order
in case
submitted.
it comes back quick. Got to come up here at least. So I've got a leg down, one attempt to go higher, second attempt to go higher, that could be a penguin. Possible penguin style. Yeah, couldn't have gotten there. I mean, some may consider putting it one tick below there, but it's so far from the MA, I wouldn't be surprised if that comes back and ticks that out. It's got to come further up here and have a good entry, really, to get any shorts in there. There is a bullish bar there, which ticked, came straight back down, but if you'd have put your stop there, it would have triggered, sorry, your order there, it would have triggered you, and I think it's going to take out a stop up here, depending on where you had it. Maybe you had it above there if you're going to go for the trap. It's going to appear somewhere, really. Still too far from the MA, really, that is. Okay, down, leg. A bit risky there. It's just a bit congested to the side. It could tick that and go up, stop it out. So it's just a bit risky for me. So we've got leg down, one attempt to go higher, second attempt to go. We've got to push a bit higher than that, really. There we go. Okay, so we may have a bit of a rally here, up or down. Let's have a look. If we can tick above there, we may start to come down from there. Let's see how this finishes.
Order filled.
Okay, I got in there before it ticked, but that's fine. Put leg down, push up, push up. For me, it looks okay. It's worth it. It hasn't. I'm in before it triggered. Unfortunately, I misjudged it, but I still think it's good. In all fairness.
Order filled.
Okay. It's probably coming down here, but I don't want to push my luck just in case. What am I up? $50. That's 1 point. It's probably going to come down. But you know, when it just starts to go sideways. I thought there was a fair chance. Where did I get out? Sometimes it's worth holding on. Now, what I will say is, if I'd have had $5,000 or $6,000 in my account, and I don't mind break even there, but I just want to get my points back for the day. So what did that come down from? So from there, it came down an extra couple of points actually, but that's okay. That's okay. I've got no problem with that. Sometimes it's just good to get your money back, but plus a bit extra. But I like that so much. It went up and turned down quick, which told me that's what I was looking for. We got a leg down here. We had one push up, second push up, came up, ticked the bottom of there. I was looking for a recess of that, dropped. For me, that was a lovely bar, and it's probably going to continue down to this thing, probably even further down. But what I will say is I patiently waited for that. Now, if I'd have traded, now I'd just come back from a 3-point loss. If I'd have had that 2 contracts, I'd have been down $300. Now, I noticed the difference, how more patient I am when I'm only trading 1 contract. And I waited. I knew what was happening. We were coming down. We had this leg down. One attempt to go higher, a little bit of sideways. There was sort of a leg in a leg. It touched there. I was open to get a retest of this, and it finished nice and bearish. So if you just hold on patiently, but what's helping me be more patient is the fact that I'm reducing my risk by half. So I've managed to get what I lost back plus a point. So it's win-win for me. So if you just take your time and just lower that risk a bit, you get your points back. And if you're patient, so it went down an extra couple of points. Now, as I say, I'm building this account up at the moment. It's up to 850 quid. If that was up to 5,000, I'll bring that down to break even, and maybe just put it down to each swing, because I'm pretty confident it's going to come down there or a bit lower. But yeah, I mean, break even +1, I'm not losing a single penny, am I? And I don't mind really. If I think it's going to come down, I'm guaranteed to make, I don't know, $12.50, $25 or whatever. So I don't mind holding on if I think it's coming down. But, you know, when I'm down and my account's low and I'm still building, I'll just sort of, you know, comfortably wait and wait for a nice setup and just get me points plus a little bit more down. It comfortably went further than I needed it to, but so that was 3.5 points, I'm guessing. 15.5, 16.5, 17.5, 18.5, 19.5. 4 points, is that right? Points. 4 points. What was the other one then? 8. The other one was 3. I don't get that. Oh, right. Yeah, of course. I forgot my 1 contract. So that was 4 points. So I really like that. I did. I thought it was a nice trade, that. So plus 4 points. So if you're patient, I've got to say, my patience after I take a loss is so much better when I'm risking less. I'm $150 down there. You can deal with that, but $300 down, this next trade means everything. Now, if I lost that trade, I'd lose another 3 points, but I'd be a total of 300 down for the day. And for a day, $300 is nothing really. I sent you my chart marked up. I did see something ping on me. I'll have a look at it in a bit, mate. So if you just sit patiently and wait, you'll get another one. And we could see what was going on. We had a leg down there, a bit of a push up. We had another leg down, 1 attempt to go higher. We did hit a new low here, but it's going sideways and it popped up quickly. There's clearly some resistance there. You can see it there. You can see it there. As soon as it touched that, it dropped really quickly, which tells me there's sell orders above there. And that came down nicely. I still expect that to make that measured leg, and I'll probably come down some more as well. So I ended up a point up. So that's okay. That's okay on a pretty tough day. It wasn't the easiest of days, was it? So there you go. But it's a shame about that, because after this, I had this channel. In fact, let me put this channel back, otherwise I might forget why I took that. So we're clearly doing something like that. which fits nice. But then we had that overshoot. In fact, it was up there, wasn't it? It was there. So what got me thinking about going long is we'd bounced here a few times. It was clearly sideways and we'd made a new low. And after that overshoot, a lot of times we do rock it up and we pushed up really nice there. Came back down, pushed up bullish. I thought that's going to go up. I was only after a couple of 3 points. But obviously when we did that, it did actually go up. I would have got me points, unfortunately. It took me out for a couple of extra ticks, but it happens sometimes. It might just be a little bit too far from the body from the EMA to be really good. But I didn't think it was a terrible trade, to be fair. But at the end of the day, sometimes if you think it's right, you've just got to go with it. Sometimes it doesn't work, but overall, you're going to do more winning trades than not. But I could see what was going on. We had that leg down there. One attempt to go higher. Second attempt to go higher. Touch that. Drop down nice and strong. And there we go. So, I'm guessing that is probably going to be how long we've been trading for. 3 hours and 45 minutes. A little bit longer than I normally trade, but my family's out at the moment doing some shopping, spending money. I can hear my phone going cha-ching, cha-ching on those apps. So I'm thinking it's probably going to come down some more. We're actually only, 10, 15 points away from a leg and a leg. And it started, so I think it is looping down, but with a bit of it's not the easiest of days. I think with a win and a loss, I'm quite happy to end up a point up. So there you go. But if you sit patiently, and I have to say, my patients are so much better when I'm reducing the risk. I would have felt that pressure there of 3 points, $300. But if I take another trade and I lose it, all I've done is lost the equivalent of one trade with 2 points. So on worst case scenario, I shouldn't be down any more than $300 in a day, which I can deal with. You're talking about 11% maybe on with your drawdown. So if anybody is doing 2 contracts and you're struggling, and I was told it, God, if I read it 1,000 times, that traders trade too much, especially newer traders. What size account do you have? The $50,000. In all honesty, forget 50, forget 20, forget 300. What it is your drawdown. So with a $50,000 account, all I've really got is $2,500. So $150, that's what? It's about 6%, that is. And you know, the ATR at the moment, if you put a tick above and a tick below that, you're talking less than 2 3/4 points. So that was a slightly bigger bar than normal. But normally you're looking around about 5%. You can recover from 5%. You have a bad day, lose 2 trades. I rarely lose 2 trades in a day, in all fairness. Certainly now I've been reducing my contract. But, you know, let's say on a very bad day, you lose 2 trades. If I lose 2 trades, I finish for the day and I've lost about 10%. You can deal with that. But you also pass some. No, I made a mistake on that one. It wasn't. I got it to $1,500 and then did micros for the next 3 days and realised that it was showing that I hadn't hit the target. So I made a bit of a mistake on that one. So the thing I like about the 50 is you can withdraw up to $2,000. But at the moment, because they're 90% off, because they're too cheap, it really doesn't bother me so much. So there we go. So let's see what happens when we touch this. So that looks like a leg and a leg. Are we going to push down some more? I think it's likely. Let's just have a little look. So we're going to touch, and a touch, a couple of legs maybe. So that measured leg hasn't played out as yet. Shame about that one after the overshoot. I thought that was a dead cert, actually. Especially as it was going into a nice trend channel. Unfortunately, it had a break and made a new high. So not the best of setups. Yeah, they're quite small bars, so yeah, it's triggered me. Had a break, stopped me out, and did exactly what I wanted it to do. But yeah, maybe a little bit more of a risky trade until we confirm we were moving back up to the overshoot, but we didn't really, did we? So I don't mind having these losses. They teach you something. You learn. So you could probably put that there, actually. In fact, you could even move that there now. Maybe not. So it's amazing how the pullback is almost... Yeah, it is. It just goes to show, doesn't it? The algorithms that run these, they know how to look for weak positions. That was a slightly weak position. If that had been lower, if the bottom of that body would have been sat in that EMA, for sure that would have gone up. But after what I had in my head was this overshoot and the break and a new low, and then it looked almost like it was bottoming. So, but it's just one of those things. It's lack of experience. I've only been trading 3 years. But I don't mind. It's $150 and I've got it back, but I've learnt something. Absolutely. You never quite know, really. You're never sure. But, you know, it looked like it was sort of working nice after the overshoot, so I thought it was going to push up, maybe a bit higher. But there we go. It is what it is, isn't it? I don't mind. But if you sit patiently, your money comes back, and I ended up with an extra $50 minus $8 fees, but that's okay. Not a brilliant day. $40 up, that'll do me. You do that on 20 accounts, you're up $800 on an awful day. You know, so. But if you are trading 2 contracts and you are struggling, and you're finding it really tempting to jump in and not get your patience back, try considering lowering it. It's so far so good. It's working nice for me. So I'm really pleased. I'm in a good place. And also sometimes you've got to get rid of that frustration that eats away at you sometimes. So sometimes a bit of a break does you good. So that is it, folks. So I appreciate you hitting that like button for me. I'm trying to grow the channel because if loads of people watch it, then, you know, if YouTube they'll pay you a bit of money. It's not a lot. I get about $50 a month, but someone said to me, if a lot more people, they'll pay you more money. So as I'm here already, it doesn't cost you guys anything. It doesn't mean you guys have got to suffer any more of me. So there we go. So we're a point up. We've got a winner and a loss, so that's okay. I can live with that. So it's been quite a long day today. Just under 4 hours. I don't usually do this long, but as I say, the family are out anyway, so ordinarily they're moaning at me. As I'm an ex-chef, they're moaning at me, where's my dinner usually around about this time, so. But there you go. Oh, look at that now. Usually about this time you get some quick movements. I'm guessing after that, that's going to come down, maybe hit that bigger leg. Leg. It broke out a little bit and then quickly dropped. In fact, you could even put that up there, in all fairness. There's other tops here that you could touch, so maybe something like that. I don't know, but that's me done now. I don't like it when it does this. All of a sudden it starts moving quickly. Yeah, maybe a lower high. So that's me done anyway. So look, I appreciate your comments, guys. It's been an alright day, actually, considering it's been a bit tough. I did what it wanted it to do. There is a lower high there, but I'm staying out at the moment. It is a little bit sideways. You never know. Last thing you want to do is get stung when you've got it good back. Yeah, anytime, Stop Hunter, you're welcome. You know, I'm not doing this. I'm doing this for my benefit, and if it helps you guys, great. So you don't need to thank me. You're helping me out. You see what I mean? You just never quite know what's going to go on there. You might pick that one, and all of a sudden it comes down, off it rockets. But hopefully it helps us all in the long run, because we've all got the same struggles, haven't we? And we've all been through the same misery. And let's face it, learning to trade, misery is a useful word. So there you go. So I am done for the day. If you're carrying on trading, best of luck. I hope you get a setup. Failing that, I will see you all tomorrow. So once again, I appreciate the comments. So have a great evening. Stay safe. And we will do it all again same time tomorrow. Bye for now.